What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back to start a more formal Kim Wilde deep dive, and again, big shout out to all the folks who commented on the first reaction, and indeed there were quite a number of you. Shout out to Philip for putting that in the Lucky Dip folder and kicking this off, and shout out to Mark, who has made several albums available, and we're going to go through them in chronological order. The first one seems to be self-titled, and yeah, ultimately it's from 1981. Mark described it as a mixture of a kind of new wave sound with pop, and he said her next album is more overtly synth pop, but yeah, like I said, we'll go through them chronologically. And the first tune on the Kim Wilde album is Water on Glass. I like the phrasing, there's a bit of poetry to it. Ultimately, both substances are transparent and translucent. Obviously glass can be stained or treated, or indeed water can be murky, but at the same time, fundamentally, and as my brain imagined the phrase when I read it, in a sort of pure, completely transparent and clear form, yeah, they both suggest like a physical presence, but such that you can still see what's on the other side of it. So again, it has this cool like lyrical poetic quality. I'll see what I can pick up on a first listen. So let's check it out as Luca hunkers into her preferred sleeping position. This is Kim Wilde. The track is Water on Glass, and it's from her 1981 self-titled album.
It's a sound in my head that I feel, and it shuts me in the prison. Say it won't last. Say it will pass.
It does kind of sound like a go-go tune or something.
Sound in my brain, can you hear it? Water on glass, running down again. Water on glass, that sound. Water on glass, running round again. Help me, the sound of running water.
Running water?
Dancing away like the lights on a roof of the river. Sounds in my head seem to run, and again I feel the shiver. Say it won't last. Pray it will pass. Always this sound in my brain. Can you hear it? Water on glass, running down again. Water on glass, that sound. Water on glass, running round again. Help me, the sound of running water's coming down.
This part
Leaning down, there's a sound vaporizing.
reminds me of something.
It's a sound in my head that I feel, and it shuts me in the prison. Say it won't last. Say it will pass. Always that sound in my brain. Can you hear it? Water on glass, running down again. Water on glass, that sound. Water on glass, running round again. Help me, the sound of running water. Water on glass, running down again. That sound, running round again.
Like the bright sparkles that started the track and end the track, apparently. It's properly bookended. It's funny because all the rest of the song is faded out. twisted, these sparkles in the end. Yeah, definitely has that new wave feel. Like I said, it reminded me of some of the Go-Go stuff that I went through. Ultimately, on the Beauty and the Beat record, which, you know, that's the only one I've heard from them. But, and yeah, like, I don't know much of the Bangles catalog, but, like, it reminds me of what I imagine / slightly remember the Bangles to sound like. But yeah, ultimately I enjoyed her vocals. You know, they weren't quite as crazy, passionate, intense as in the song I listened to for the Lucky Dip track. But yeah, like sounding good. I enjoyed the energy of the track. It sounds like sound is much more important than the visuals of Water on Glass, and that the idea of that sound being in your head and like you're hearing it even if you know it's in your brain, and you know it's whether it's rain hitting a window or perhaps, you know, like some like, I don't know, leaking pipe or something like hitting where it's just kind of this tap tap tap, like you can imagine the sound very clearly. But as to like what that would mean if that was always in your head, it might be sort of maddening. It might just be something that's, you know, sort of driving you. I'm not quite sure like where the sentiment of it was, but if, you know, you can't like make it stop and you can't get it out, it sounds like it's, you know, a bit intense and maybe not something that you like all the time. Either way, yeah, I'll probably have that chorus stuck in my head for a little while. It feels like it's the kind of chorus that can worm its way into your own gray matter. But yeah, a cool opener. Looking forward to the rest of this album. And, you know, given the way Mark describes things, the next album I have my sights on too. People will know synth pop. It's a genre I've been listening to since I was a kid. You know, very electronic music, whether as a fan of synth pop in the 80s or someone who started listening to techno and trance in the 90s, electronic sounding music has always been one of my major interests. So again, we'll go through this one first, but again, the way he described them made me curious about the next one as well. At this point, Luca, I will need my left arm back as you sleep on top of it. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. The horizontal Luca positioning has been achieved. Do let me know what you think. Shout out once again to Mark and to Phil for starting us on this journey, and I will see you next time. Peace.